recovery can be a really tedious, boring experience. And so many people ask me after watching my videos, they cut back on their social media, they cut back on their phone usage, they cut back on all these different things, and they ask me, I'm bored, what do I do? And the question you have to ask yourself is, what would you have done at any other point in history prior to the last 20 years? And you wouldn't have had a choice. You would have had to rest and, accept a bit of that boredom. Now, there are ways with technology in this day and age that you can use for a positive, experience during your chronic illness. And the thing that I did was I used audiobooks a lot. And it really takes away the edge of recovery. In those times when you really are bored and you just want to pass the time, audiobooks really help. And people that I speak to, they like listening to audiobooks when it comes to, unwinding and going to bed, but they're putting the audiobooks on their iPhone. Now, the thing that I recommend and the thing that I did during my recovery was I had one of the old iPod generations, like 4th generation, where it didn't have Wi-Fi, internet, videos, anything like that. It was just simply music files. And what I used to do is put my Audible files on that iPod, and when it came to bedtime, I wouldn't be bombarded or feel the temptation to look through my feed or reply to comments or look at notifications, and it keeps it to the bare minimum of just listening to an audiobook before bed. And the screen isn't got the glaring blue light as well. So my recommendation during recovery, and I've spoke about this before, is audiobooks. Audiobooks can really help pass the time and give you so much useful information. That's the other thing I want to touch on actually, is that when you have these iPhones and this technology, you are bombarded with information that has never been accessible before. So you will go on YouTube, look for something positive. Next thing you know, in this related bar, there's another video you want to watch, and you'll be listening to the current video, reading the comments, looking at all the different videos, opening new tabs, and it's just bombarding yourself with all this stimulation that is not positive towards your recovery at all. So my recommendation is, when you have your curfew, I recommend after 1 or 2 o'clock in the afternoon, you download what you want to listen to onto your old iPod and listen to it from that, so you're not constantly searching for new information, and take it one audiobook at a time. It's very difficult to do, but listen to an audiobook. Once you're finished, then find a new one. And if you feel like, say it's close to bedtime and you go, oh my god, I want to search this, or I want to see if there's an audiobook to do with this, write it down on a piece of note. Don't go searching for it before bedtime. Keep yourself strict with your curfew when it comes to technology. It is really important you do that. And so many people I speak to, is they don't know what the missing piece is when it comes to their recovery. They're eating right, they're trying to stick to a normal bedtime, but more often than not, they have a poor relationship with technology and they have an addiction. And it's very hard to find someone without an internet addiction nowadays, but when it comes to your recovery, it's really important you reel that in and keep it within a certain curfew, and don't go outside of that curfew. And when you do go outside that curfew, have one of those old iPods or an iPod shuffle or something that doesn't stimulate you to the extent these iPhones do. And also the light of the screen, and it doesn't give you the temptation to look at notifications and new information all the time. So when you're waking up in the morning and you don't know what to do, you listen to an audiobook, you're not tempted to go on the internet. Or when it's before bed, you're not tempted to go on it either. Anyway, I'll stop rambling now, but yeah, Audible is a great way to pass the time with a chronic illness. And people ask me to set up a Patreon account, and personally I'm not too keen on the idea of just accepting people's money for nothing. But if you do want to support me, I'll pop a link to Audible trial, and if you ever sign up, I'll get a commission off it. So if that's something you want to do, you want to support me in that way, without having to pay me, you can do that. But yeah, thank you very much guys, and I'll see you next video.